Hey, here we are.
All right.
We're alive. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we were just talking about the air quality today, and it seems to have. If you looked outside, it seems to have improved. Leck and I went out to eat. And we were on the motorbike, and you can see the outline of the mountains, so it doesn't look too
Mm.
bad.
Yeah, no, I've been outside. And this recording room is detached from my house. So
Yeah,
I walked out and I looked, and it seems but I think that rain the other day was pretty heavy.
it was, and we had it 2 or 3 days, but it was in the middle of the night, so
Mm.
some of it you didn't see. But the first night it started about. I'm thinking it started about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It was a good rain,
Yeah.
and then the next night it was always at night. By the time daylight came, the rain had stopped,
Mm.
but it's still we can still see the haze in the mountains from here. So it's
Yeah.
not 100
What was it? Two
percent, but
days
it's a
ago,
lot
right?
better. Yeah,
Yeah. 2 days ago it rained, correct?
I believe it's 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah,
Yeah. But even like last night, how you can tell that there's still a lot of moisture in the air is all them bugs that are flying
yeah,
around your
yeah, yeah, yeah,
lights.
yeah,
And
yeah.
last night they was all out.
Huh? Yeah.
So
I
there's
haven't
still
seen.
obviously moisture.
Yeah, I haven't seen the bugs in a while. Those guys
Mm.
are nasty. They're
Yeah,
they're
they
they're
are.
just golly. What we used to I turn the lights off in the house and turn the gate lights on, and
Mm.
and all the bugs would go there.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I heard it got worse, but the rain will help it clear. Yeah, it it helps, but like I said, it's not perfect. Um, it may be another few weeks before we get enough rain uh, to clear it up to where it should be. And I was up in the moat. I think it was day four yesterday, one of the days, and they're draining the moat and they're filling it back up. They're getting ready to add the chemicals to it for the water
Hmm.
splashing and all that stuff. And
uh,
thank you. I appreciate that, Moldy. Uh, Much appreciated. Moldy abroad. Um, but you know, it, I don't want. Even if I was in perfect health, I wouldn't be going up there because I don't
mm.
want that water in my face. And that's exactly what they throw out of there. And
Mm.
this year, it's gonna be crazy.
Hmm.
It's gonna be absolutely crazy because
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
got all these new tourists coming in, and
Hmm.
they've already said they're gonna. Last year they banned water throwing.
Mm.
But this year they said that they're just gonna let them do whatever they want to do. So it
Yeah.
should
Yeah. I
be
don't know what's
interesting.
worse. Friggin', how they get those big trash cans and they fill them full of ice and water.
Yes, yes.
I don't know what's worse, getting splashed in the face with that ice cold water or getting that moat water in the face.
Well, in all honesty, if you get hit with the water, it's going to be moat water. They're just going to be putting ice in it. That's it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I ran into one year, and we got in a truck. This is probably 8 years ago, and we got into the back of a truck and we went down in through uh, Lampoon and
Mm.
came up 106, and they had the hoses run up from the canals running in behind the houses, and they were filling up the buckets from that, and
Mm.
that water's all it's sewer water and just straight sewer water. So
Yeah.
uh, it's um, it's not it's not anything you want to get in your mouth, you want to get in your eyes or up your nose or anything like that. It's just and I don't know if these people that come here on vacation realize what they're actually what they're getting into, but
Yeah.
you know it'll be a free for all up there. I guarantee it. Now I don't know
Well,
if they're gonna have the like the Air Asia stage and
oh, I'm sure they will.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be near there. I will probably make a video around the neighborhood here,
Mm. Mm.
because they'll play around. There's a little area that they'll play around and
Mm.
throw a little bit of water and that's not too bad. But to get up in the city, nah, I'm not going to do it.
And yeah, if you go to the moat, you should know what you're going to get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's just. I mean, you're not going to come out of there unscathed.
No,
But the thing I hate is when you're driving down like Hang Dong Road, you're doing like 60 or whatever, and then you get the water in the
yeah,
face.
yeah, and it's dangerous too. You get hit on a
Yeah,
bike, and
yeah, yeah.
the water will take you off a bike. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you get hit in the chest or something like that, it'll take the air out of you. And
Especially when it's freezing cold, man.
yeah, hey, happy
Oh,
Saturday, Jeff. Um, yeah, and it's just you know, I it's probably for the kids more than anything else. I mean, the first
yeah.
couple of years I enjoyed it, but
Mm, mm.
but then it gets old, and we just have to wait and see what happens. But I guarantee it's going to be a madhouse up there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll wait and see what happens. Now, yeah, I'll tell you. We were talking about this last week. Are you seeing a lot of new foreigners in around where you live?
Yeah. This area seems to be where I live is quite prime for Chinese.
Hmm.
So I'm starting to see, and you can hear them. I speak a little Chinese, so when they're talking and they're walking, I can hear them speaking Chinese. So yeah, there's definitely some uptick in either people buying houses or obviously renting them. But I think most of the Chinese they're buying houses in this move on.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing the same thing here.
Mm,
We've seen families that coming in that never seen before. And
mm.
I like I said, I don't know if they're renting or buying or what they're doing, but they're definitely here, and a lot of different, not necessarily all Chinese. Some of them are Korean. Uh,
Yeah, I've seen a couple Koreans here too.
I think I haven't seen any Russians yet. Now they're saying that we're going to get a big influx of Russians because of this, them trying to get away from the war. But I
Mm,
haven't I
mm,
haven't seen any up here. But I've seen a lot of older foreign couples showing up at the market,
mm,
eating dinner at 5, 6 o'clock that I've not seen before, and a few young people, few young families, and
mm.
it wonders me because I see them, but their kids are not going to school. So I don't know if they're homeschooling them or I mean, it's
Maybe.
really none of my business. But like
Yeah.
you're saying, why are they not going to school? I don't know, but it's interesting.
With my Mubon, there's technically, how big it is.
Yeah, it's
There's
huge.
actually two sides. There's two sides to it. There's the older side and the newer side. And I live on the newer side. And the thing about the newer side is the houses here, besides my little ghetto one, they go from 5 to 25 million baht.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is what the Chinese are buying. They're not buying the older houses
I know.
in the other part of them. They're buying the brand new giant houses on this
Yeah,
side.
yeah. It says read an article. Mainland Chinese own over 1,000 homes in Chiang Mai now, with Thai nominees pressure on the government to crack it. Yeah, and we're noticing that too. I think it's probably a lot more than 1,000.
Mm,
Probably a whole lot more. We're probably talking maybe 1,000 different businesses or 500 businesses that they've started here in Chiang Mai that with the Thai nominees. And yeah,
mm.
the there's a big shakeup about it right now. And what's that guy? The guy they call Big Joke. I like
Yeah,
him. I think he's probably an honest cop, but he
yeah.
is he has brought charges against, I think it's 108 or 118 immigration officers that have helped the Chinese somehow get Thai
All right with the
nominees and,
visa.
and
Yeah,
yeah, visas and stuff. So
yeah.
it's bad, and the Thai people that are in business are complaining because the business is being taken away from them.
Hmm.
So That's kind of what we're dealing now. Now it used to be we when they had all these tour groups coming, the tour groups were basically they were paying somebody in China, and,
Mm,
and
yeah.
that was a big thing the last time. Now, I don't know if it's still something that they're doing now.
Well,
The
they had
condo
those
apart-
zero bot tours there for a long time.
yeah, yeah, and they weren't putting any money into Thailand. They were all putting
Right.
it back in there.
Right.
So condo apartment numbers must be insane. Yeah, I heard about the business thing too. Yeah, yeah, it's it's a big stink right now, and I don't know. We haven't seen any businesses go out or anything like that. We haven't seen any places dissolve, so it's kind of hard to say which ones they are, but it's definitely happening. And
I know they got a problem with the Russians down in Phuket and Pattaya starting up these businesses where they're doing like taxis and tour groups and everything else,
yeah, they can't
and the
do that.
government's starting to crack down on them.
Well, it needs to be that way. I mean,
Mm,
the tour money should be going to the Thai people, as far as I'm
yeah.
concerned.
Oh
And
yeah.
if people come over here and they want to, if you want to come over here and start a business, like I mean, start a food business or something like that, like Rudy at Gecko, or
Mm,
do something that's not taken away from the Thai people. And the funny thing about Rudy is, and I really respect him, because he he does a lot for the community up there as far as food and giving to the homeless, and he employs, I think, gosh, probably 8 or 9 different people, and
mm.
so he does real well with I think, for the community. But
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot of these places, there was I saw one. There was an Italian guy, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember whether, I don't think it was here. It was an Italian guy that immigration went and arrested, that had opened up a
oh
restaurant. Did you
yeah.
see that?
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
Was that here in Chiang Mai? I can't
It
remember.
was. It was.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that was a setup though, so I don't know.
well, somebody probably snitched him out. I
Mm,
mean,
mm.
there's no doubt about it. And uh, a lot of times when you do something like that, you're going to interfere with a Thai person that's uh, got a business, and you're gonna get snitched out. Our
Well,
housing costs go ahead, Spencer.
I was just going to say though, chef is not a prohibited job. Foreigners
Mm,
can be a chef here in Thailand. That's not a problem.
but
I,
you
I
got to have
think
a
you got to have the right amount of Thais working there. I think it's three or four. But I think the thing is that he can cook in his own restaurant. I just think that he can't like serve or exchange money with the customers,
maybe that, yeah.
and that may have what you know drew him afoul of the law. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I don't think he had a work permit. Is basically what it was. But
Really?
who knows? Our housing costs going up, lower availability of home apartment inventory. You know, I'm seeing on Facebook houses and apartments advertised for money that, a year or two ago, it wouldn't have been that much.
Mm,
Um, the there's still a lot of apartments available, and there's still a lot of houses, available as well, and you can still get bargains. I was telling somebody the other day that in the little area that I live, there's four new houses that have just been built, and they're 2 bedroom, 2 bath houses, and they're renting for 5,000 a month. I mean, the places are still there if you get out in the community and look for them. Uh, you can still find them, and the apartments. There's plenty of apartments. The prices have gone up some, but still, if you look, and you'll find the bargains. That's for sure.
Yeah, one thing about the housing market here in Thailand is compared to like the USA is they don't have a fair market value here.
Yeah,
What they do is they just base it on whatever the owner thinks they can get for it, either at the present time or the future value of it.
yeah,
So if all the houses in the neighborhood were sold for 2 million baht in the past, but it's an upcoming area, he may say, well, I might get 5 million for it, so I'm gonna list it at 5 million,
hmm,
even though it may not be worth that because
yeah,
it's just owner perception of cost here.
yeah.
So, I mean, you take that as you want, but I mean, if it's a condo that's in a prime area, I mean, the sky's the limit as far as what they can charge for it.
Yeah. Well, I've also found too when houses go on the market here, they can sit on the market forever
Oh, yeah,
and then never go down in price.
no,
They always go up.
hmm,
When we were looking at houses, there are houses that are still on the market that we looked at back 12 years ago,
hmm,
and they just raised the price, and I don't know what their thoughts are, but that's just the way it is. So
hmm.
arrived a little over a week ago, a high-rise condo for 8,500 near Center. Yeah, they're there. They're you can get them. You just have to get out and look for them. I think the ones that I'm seeing on Facebook that are being marketed, they're they're all written in English and then they're written in Chinese and Korean and
Mm.
so they're going after the tourists that don't really want to get out and look
Plus, the
places.
realtors have got to take their cut too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So that
yeah,
increases the cost of it. If you go out there
yeah,
on foot yourself and just beat the path and look around, you'll find a good
yeah.
deal.
That's what we did when we moved here. We went out and looked around. Actually, Lex did. Um, and just way it is. You got to get out there and beat the bushes. But the
Mhm.
best way to do it is come in, get a hotel, and then hire a red truck driver. They know where all these move-ons are. They'll take you around, show you, and usually there's a sign on the fence or something like that. And that's the best way to find what you're looking for. You just call them, they'll come down. And you talk about not understanding the language. Well, the red truck driver can call for you. Uh, and most people that'll put a sign up, they generally have some English and they'll be able to work with you. Says,
Mhm.
what do you think about the great retirement of baby boomers by 2030 if more individuals will retire in Thailand? That's, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. But, we're seeing, in around here where I live, I'm seeing a lot more young people uh, showing up in Lexus. How do they live here? How do they retire? They're not 50. Uh,
Mhm.
how do they do it? I don't know. I've never asked any of them, but we are seeing a lot of people coming now that we didn't see quite a ways, quite a time before. But
They
it'd
were
be
talking
interesting.
about a digital nomad visa. I don't know if it ever went through or not, or if it's been passed or whatever, but they
Yeah, I
were
don't.
talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know if that ever did. I did see something like that, and I think somebody was telling me about the elite visa
Mm.
that you can get, and I forgot exactly, but it does allow for digital, to work digitally. I don't know that much about it because I don't plan on doing that.
Yeah, I
All the
think it's
younger,
80,000 a month you got to have coming in
yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
80,000 a month, yeah. He says all the younger retired people I know are on elite visas. Yeah, that's where if you could show an income of 80,000 baht a month, uh, you can get it, and I don't. To me, it's not worthwhile. It might be to them because that's all they can get, but um, it's just not the way I would want to do it.
A buddy of
It's
mine got it, and he's in his 70s. and he loves it.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, did he pay? Did he? How did he do it? Did he show the eighty
Well, I'm talking
thousand?
about my buddy down in Hua Hin.
Okay.
Yeah, he obviously he's definitely old enough. He's in his
Yeah.
70s, but he said I forgot all the details. It's just like this gentleman said here about uh, the 600K bought for 5 years, then you can get another 15 years on top of that for 400K. And I know that he said he had to show 80,000 a month, and he doesn't have to have like a separate bank account where the money goes into. Now he can combine the bank account with his wife,
Hmm.
so he doesn't have to separate it and put the money in a separate account, which he
That's
likes.
interesting. Yeah.
So I don't know. He said he loves it.
Yeah. I I like the one that I do.
Mm,
Doing the retirement visa route, not retired, but transitioning to digital. Yeah. It's. I guess if you're going to come over here and you're going to work, and that is probably the easiest way to. I'll tell you, most of the people that I know basically just do their stuff, and they don't worry about being legal or anything like that. Um, I,
that's
I
probably
don't
not the
I
good
don't
way to do it.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's have to wait and see what happens. But the digital nomad thing.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go. I don't think they're getting as much. I don't think the Thai government's getting as much traction out of that visa as they had thought they would.
mm.
But still, it's hard to tell because there's no numbers, and there's no way to track it. But, I think it's good for people, and I think
Yeah,
I have one friend that has one, and what he likes about it is he can come and go as he pleases. Come. He doesn't have to get a reentry permit or anything like that. It doesn't have to. I don't believe he even has to do his 90-day reports.
yeah. That's another
Um,
thing my friend said. You don't have to do that anymore either.
yeah. Well, for somebody who doesn't mind spending the extra money, that's the way to go. It doesn't
Yeah,
become an issue until you're actually making an income. So far, I'm not making it. Yeah, a lot of us are that way. It's just the way it is. But
I'm not a visa expert. I don't think you're a visa expert, but
not at all.
I do know that when they started that OA visa for retirees, where you apply for it in your home country, that required you jumping through a lot of hoops to get it. And from what my understanding is, like you and I, we're on O visas.
Yeah.
And what I've heard is the best thing to do is to come here on a different visa and then convert it to an O visa.
Hmm.
That's the better way than applying for an OA visa in the States. Now, I don't know about that because the one clause to that is on an OA visa, you're allowed to ship a lot of personal goods over here without being taxed. And if you're on just a normal visa or whatever, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So I guess if you have a lot of stuff you want to ship over here, I guess OA is the only way to do it.
Yeah. Well, the I came when I came over in 2010. I applied for an O visa out of Los Angeles, and it was a multiple entry. And then I did ship like 4 boxes, and the shipping company advised me to use my wife,
Mm,
because she was there, and we did it that way. We didn't do it through the through me, and we didn't pay anything on the stuff when it came in. She had to send her passport to the import place in Bangkok, and 2 weeks later the stuff was at the house. It says, I really don't know my visa agent's connections, but I just waltz through every time. Yeah, yeah. I don't either, and I've never used one. Now, Spencer, you use a visa agent,
I use a
and
lawyer.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
They and it just they have the connections. They They can do that, and they basically know the paperwork and know how to get everything filled out properly and know what they'll
Mm,
accept and what they won't accept. So it does make it a lot easier. I have for
mm,
11 years. I've always done my own, and a couple of times I've had problems, but I mean, it's nothing that I could go right back home and fix.
mm,
Um, last time I had the easiest time the last time because what I did, I made an appointment online, and which worked out great. We showed up, and I had all the paperwork done, and we had gone the day before and had them look through it to make sure we had everything that we needed. We just showed up, and I think I was there for probably about an hour,
mm,
and we were done. And that was the fastest we'd ever got in and out.
hmm.
But yeah, having an agent makes things a lot easier, and plus you don't have to remember everything. Yes, that's what I'm doing. On Church visa to retirement visa is approved. Yeah, but
That's kind of what I did too. I retired from the military when I was 40 years old, and then
mhm,
uh, I did 5 years in China. So by the time I got here, I was about 46. So I was about 4 years short of 50 years old. And
mhm,
because I had been working in China, I just got a business visa here initially, and I
mhm.
was on a business visa. But then again, the problem with that is you had to leave the country every 9 days.
Yeah,
And I just did that for 4 years until I finally was able to qualify for an O visa.
yeah. I think now, do they still do that when they have a business visa? Do they have to leave
I
every
think
so
so.
often? Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, a lot of the places we used to eat, we'd go in the restaurant would be closed for a week when they go to Vientiane to
Yeah.
do their
Yeah.
do their.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard of them having to do that, so I don't know if they've changed that.
I would figure they would still do.
Hmm. Says I believe the OA requires medical insurance. O
It
doesn't. I
does.
believe that's yeah. Yeah, that's the way it is. The O visa, you don't have to have insurance.
Mhm.
But I would recommend everybody, please get health
Mhm.
insurance if you're going
Yep.
to live here. Don't go with it unless you've got a ton of money in the bank. Don't come here and stay here without health insurance. Prime example right here.
Mhm.
Fortunately I had it. Had I not have it, I would have been really really bad shape. How important it is to have this fish sometimes when you're yeah. It's real important. The thing about it is you never know what's going to happen. You know, I went for a long time, just kind of skating along there, for a few years and nothing ever happened. And I've got to do something. And fortunately, uh, I built up a bank account and I keep some money in the bank, and
Mhm.
it's you don't want to live over here on a shoestring. It's just not safe. And I know a lot of people do it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why they changed uh, we used to just go to the embassy and get an affidavit saying we had so much money, and we
Mhm.
signed it. We didn't have to prove it. We didn't have to do anything. We just
Mhm.
paid them $50 and they gave us that paper. Well, there were so many people that were just doing that and they didn't have the money or they didn't have the funds. The Thai government finally said, okay, you know, they've got to prove it. And that's why the embassies have stopped giving out those letters. Now you have to prove it to immigration. So,
Yeah.
it's
And that's the thing too is the fact how important it is to have that money. Well, immigration's going to take a fine tooth comb and go through every one of your
yeah,
transactions.
yep,
And I mean, they don't mess around with that.
yeah,
They look at
yeah,
incoming and outgoing to
yeah,
make sure that you're meeting the requirements. So it is highly important to have
yeah,
those funds.
yeah, yeah. There's ways. I've heard there's ways around it, but it's
Yeah.
very expensive. And it's just
Yeah.
not worth it. You're better off having the money. And we had a stop off coffee lady last week. Didn't realize her husband are both. Yeah, they're both Burmese. Burmese, very very nice people. Um, and I hope you met her daughter. Her daughter is just cute as a button. But if anybody that comes here that doesn't go by and see the coffee lady, you're missing out on a trip. How do you, you know, I'll tell you, I use WR Life, and I'm real happy with them. Um, I've 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 had other insurance companies, and I wasn't happy with them. Um, but I've been real happy with them. There are a lot of insurance companies out there that are good. Uh, what I would do is get on the internet or on search them out on the internet and check and see how many complaints they've had as far as paying off or anything like that. That's the best way to do it because there's just like anything else. There are good insurance companies and bad insurance companies.
Mm.
Um, but, fortunately, I've got a good one. I'm very happy with them. And at Moldy Abroad was a blind man field. Let's see what else we got. Happy St. Patty's Day weekend. We're not drinking any green beer or anything like that. I haven't even gone up into the city. I don't plan on it. Are you guys having a drinks at Chang? No, not me. I don't. Number one, I don't drink, and number two, I don't have any plans on getting up there this weekend anyway. Yeah, the deposit requirement for retirement is a nice way to force you to have. Yeah, and you really need to have a backup plan.
But you
And
can't
have
touch those reserve funds. Those have to be seasoned. You have to have
yeah
that amount in your account for a certain amount of period of time before you can even touch it.
yeah.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
like
for
3 months, isn't it?
3 months it has to be, and I
Yeah.
think I you can use it, but you have to put it back in.
Refill it. Yeah.
Yeah, you've made Coffee Ladies Cafe a must visit. Yeah, and that's good. It is. It's a place you need to be. And I think I said it in one of the videos that is a really cool area to get out and walk around. Just walk around through the streets. Um, it's really interesting. It's kind of it hasn't uh, it hasn't really changed that much over the years. Some of the guest houses and stuff are some of the old buildings, and just walk around back and through there and meet the people. It's really a cool area, uh, just to get out and walk around on foot. And she's real nice, and her family is nice. Her daughter's nice. I don't believe I've met her husband, but he's usually working when I slide by there. But they're great people. Black beer is the one to drink. I don't drink any kind
Guinness.
of beer, so I don't know. Have you ever had black beer?
Yeah. The
I,
Guinness. I mean, there's several
Guinness.
places here that serve Guinness, so you're all right.
No, I don't. Way beyond that. Way beyond that. But I'm sure. Uh, I'm sure there'll be people up there going crazy this weekend.
Mm.
Hello from Port Dover. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. But
I can imagine the UN Irish pub will be quite busy tonight.
probably, yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you a funny story. Back in, gosh, I'm trying to think. Let me think of the year. Would have had to have been probably 95 or 96. We had up in where I worked, we had a carjacking, and four kids had carjacked this guy's. He had a really nice car. They'd carjacked him. In his driveway, and they had shot his wife. And it was kind of a crazy situation. We couldn't figure out how it happened because the guy lived way out in the boonies. But it turned out these four kids had run away from home in Illinois, and they ditched their car and they followed him to his house and took his car and headed out towards Panama City and Panama City Beach. Well, they wrecked the car in Panama City Beach, and the Panama City Beach cops caught all four of them. And me and my partner had to go down and pick them up.
Mhm.
And we went down on St. Patrick's Day,
Mhm.
and it was so funny. The cops down there were real great. They set us up in a hotel on the beach, and we were looking at the beach and everything. And then they said there's a bar right below you. It's an Irish bar, and he said stop in. So we went in, and it was it was fun. I mean,
Hmm.
it's the only I didn't. My buddy got carded. It was so funny. He's a year younger than me, and they carded him. And so I figured, well, I'll pull out my watch. He goes, no, I don't need yours. Thinking, "Ah, crap." But it was all people just having a good time. But the
Mm.
funny thing was, it was during college. They had spring break there, and we went out that night and went to some of the places during spring break. And I mean, I've been to spring break in Fort Lauderdale,
Mm.
and it's kind of crazy time. But you realized how old you were walking around through those kids just having a great time. It was pretty interesting.
Mhm.
But that was my St. Patrick's Day shock. Hello again from San Francisco Bay, and happy St. Patty's Day. Hey, I saw some of your pictures the other day, and just amazing. This guy's a photographer, and he's been here to Chiang Mai and did some pictures here that were really, really, really good.
Mm.
Um, when are you coming back? Are you coming? Do you have any plans to come back up here? It takes him a while to answer me, but
Mm.
yeah, he did some photos. I had told him where I had walked on LaCroix, and then I came down Soy 3, and he basically did the same walk that I did, photographed some of the same people that I had photographed. It was really kind of
Mm.
cool. And I think he went down to the Clong. Now, have you been
Mm.
down to the Clong yet, Spencer? Have you walked that yet?
Which one?
The one right at the end of Campaign Den Road, the one that they
Uh,
fixed up.
oh, I've driven past it. No,
Yeah, yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. It's
Where
right at the
they've
end.
kind of turned it into a touristy area.
Yeah, yeah. That place is
Yeah.
packed. It's packed
Is it
out.
really?
Yeah,
During the
just
daytime,
about.
it wasn't crowded at all.
Yeah, no, it's packed out. Usually, they start about probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then
Mm.
it'll go into the night. Everybody's down there getting their picture taken. I haven't been back there. I think it's probably been a couple months, but I go by there, when I go by Gecko, and it's usually
Gecko, yeah.
pretty pretty busy, and they've set up parking lots
Hmm.
over there. Everybody's standing out there with the parking lot sign, 20 baht, 20 baht. So
Hmm.
it's brought a lot of people into that area. And we went up the other day, and I ate, and Lek went off on foot because she wanted to eat her Thai food. She
Hmm.
came back and said there's a lot more restaurants that have opened up in
Hmm.
that area um, since that's happened. So it's good.
There's a lot of hostels up in that area too.
Yeah, there is. There is. There's quite a few
Hmm.
of them. If you come out from that area and you get over into the Hyatt district, what I do is walk out from that, and then I go left, and then there's a little street in there where you make that corner and get back in there, and there's some really neat places. That's a cool place to walk. Really neat places back in there. And the thing that I like about it so much is that they haven't changed. They haven't. Every once in a while you'll see a big building or something like that, a new one, but there's still some of the old buildings that from years ago uh,
Hmm.
that are still up. It's a really neat area to walk in. It's a lot of just regular Thai people
Hmm.
that live in there. Um, but it's cool, and it's not that far. It's only maybe about 300 yards from that place where you just kind of hang a left and you get back in the little slough back there. And
Hmm.
if you keep going straight, it takes you to Saturday Night Walking Street,
All right.
and, which I have not been for a while, so I don't know how
Yeah.
that's going.
I think my wife's going to go to the Sunday one tomorrow.
Oh, Walking
She's going to,
Street,
yeah, she's going to videotape that.
yeah,
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 she started her own little channel, so she's got to put some
yeah,
stuff on there.
yeah. She's I think I got it here somewhere. You see here.
Around Town
So
Girl.
yeah, let me find it. I'll put the link in there.
But yeah, she did the Everything Expo. What was it, last weekend? And she's going to do Sunday night Walking Street because one of her friends is the MC for it.
Huh.
So she's going to go up there and do
Oh,
that.
that'll be great.
Yeah. Not that it hasn't been done before. I mean, every tourist that come here seems to videotape that, but maybe from a Thai perspective, it might be different, you know?
Well, that and that's really good too. Let me put her thing in here.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, I just found it.
Yeah.
See if it goes. Yeah, there we go. I got it.
All right.
And yeah, that I watched the other one that she did and at the expo, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Um, it's different than what you normally see when you're out running around. Let me put that up here too so people can see it. There we go. But it's just subscriber number 6. There you go.
Hmm.
To get her going. But yeah, that's that to walk the Sunday night market would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We
think I
bought her a gimbal so she'll be able to stabilize the camera this time.
yeah, she's using her phone or
Yeah, using a phone.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
It's packed out too.
Yeah.
I've seen it the last 2 or 3 nights. Lex sees it on TikTok, and she'll say
Hmm.
there were a lot of people there, a lot of people there, and I can't get up and right now I can't get up into crowds or get around people,
Hmm.
until I've got. You see, I've got 4 more sessions of chemo, and then they'll give me some stuff to boost my white blood count up. But the doctors told me not to be exposed to people for very long, for periods of time. He says, okay, if you see somebody, say hello or whatever, but
Hmm.
don't stay around people for long periods of time because your immune system is not what it should
Hmm.
be. Now, will
Hmm.
it will get back up, and so. But for right now, I had to turn. A couple of people wanted me to meet them for lunch, and I just said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I just can't do it." And
Hmm.
but there'll be a time when things will get back to normal, and
Yeah.
I'll get my white blood cells back up to where it's supposed to be,
Hmm.
and go from there. But it is what it is. But
Well, I think
it's
we talked about this before. Everybody that comes here tries to videotape and become a YouTube star.
mhm.
So you have every tourist that comes into Chiang Mai doing things, and essentially they do the same thing:
Yeah,
walking street, whatever.
yeah,
But the thing about it is to get a unique perspective, maybe from a Thai standpoint, or like what you're doing here, where we go live and we just discuss things on a daily basis that happens to
yeah,
us.
yeah.
That's to me, that's different, and that's more interesting than seeing the same things being rehashed over and over.
Well, and that's very true. That was one of the reasons why I started walking the streets.
Mm,
Um, it just there's some people that do that, but there's not that many of them. But I enjoyed doing that because number one, it seemed like every time that I went out, I'd see something different. Now, every
mm,
one of those streets up there, I've probably ridden my motorcycle by, I've rode my bike through. I know because I've rode my bike all up in there. But every time I got out on foot, I'd see something different.
mm.
And when you do that, it you can show people a little bit something a little bit different than what they normally see because
Yeah.
and everybody sees different things.
Mm,
So I think it's a good idea. It'll be fun.
mm,
A lot of interesting stuff going on up there. The thing that and tonight it's very possible tonight I may there's something going on at the temple over here. They've got the stages all set up, and I think it's going to be the night that they deliver the money trees.
mm,
With those little trees with the money. And if they do,
mm,
I'll probably slip by and take some pictures of it and put it up in the
mm.
community section because it's just you've never seen so much money at one time. A couple of years ago, they just had rows and rows and rows of those trees set up, and they had about 4 or 5 people stand there watching every one of them. But they've got that set up at the temple tonight. I think that's what they're going to do. If they do,
Mm.
I'm going to try and take some pictures of it. It should be pretty good.
There you go.
Who knows what's going to happen. Uh, I like people that go off the unusual back. Yeah, Bangkok Pat is really good. He knows his way around it down in Bangkok, and he gets in some places that are really interesting. And I try to do the same thing up here. Get in some of the areas that people don't see. There was one that I did. Matter of fact, I think it's the featured video that I have on there. That I got into an area off of 107, and I just happened to be walking by, and I saw a little path that went through, and I looked. I said, that goes somewhere." But you get back, and you're in behind a bunch of buildings, but there's houses there, and it's
Hmm.
like a little community, and it's built right along the clong. It was really interesting, and that's stuff that people don't normally see when they come here unless they're looking for it.
Hmm.
Uh, and that's what Pat does. Pat does some really good stuff. Is there a particular area or mall to buy big guy clothes? I really don't know. I don't know. My wife gets my stuff off of um, IG, so I don't know. Do you know of a place that's
Yeah.
around it?
Well, I'm a big guy. Of course I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shop at Airport Plaza Mall called Dr. Zoo that sells nothing but big size clothes. And then you got the export stores that have the clothes that go overseas. So obviously they're Western sizes. And I buy a lot of my clothes on Shopee or Lazada.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I got mine too.
Yeah. So yeah, there's options here. The only thing that I would suggest is if you're coming here for a good period of time, buy some extra underwear,
Yeah,
the kind that you like, and maybe even some socks
yeah, yeah.
because you're going to have a hard time finding your size here for one, and usually they're not very comfortable underwear here. So
That's one thing. When I left the states, I think I brought about 8 packs of shorts from Walmart.
mhm.
Hanes boxer shorts. I'm still wearing them.
Yeah,
Thanks to you, I know where to go for coffee, pizza, cupcakes. What else? Donuts. If you like
donuts.
donuts,
Yeah.
there's a place in the moat um called Good Monday Donuts,
Mm.
and it's right next to Sompetch Kitchen. Little lady in there makes donuts, and they're better than Krispy Kreme. They're really good, and she makes a great donut. And if you want a decent meal, eat at Sompetch Kitchen, and then run next door and get yourself a donut. And then if you want good smoked ribs, walk further north and you hit Ryder's Corner on the corner. They've got real good barbecue there. That's where I've been getting my barbecue. Last time I visited Chiang Mai in September, I met 3 homeless Australian men who had figures. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I it's bad. The thing about it is, you fall into that pit and you run out of money, and there's really, most of the consulates won't help you get back to your country.
Mm.
Uh, and I've read stories about guys getting ripped off and by their wives or their girlfriends or whatever. And how that happens, I don't know. You need to take care of your money and make sure that you're doing what's right and you're being smart. Don't be stupid. Says, do you find that you live more cheaply since you have a Thai partner? Just regular stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it. I would say that my wife knows how to find things a lot cheaper than an expat would. So yeah, I think that helps. What do you think, Spencer?
I it really depends on your wife. Like my wife is very frugal, so she
And
doesn't
mine is
spend a
too.
lot. But if you marry one of the material girls, then no, you're going to be spending a lot of money here.
Yeah, that's very true. Chiang Market, weekends only. I go each week and load up on meat pies and stews for a week. Fantastic market. Yeah, I know where you're talking about. I believe that's right along the river, is it not? I think I've been there one time, if I'm not mistaken. What's with the eggshells and the faces painted on them in the home garden? I have not seen that. Have you seen that, Spencer? Eggshells,
Hmm.
the faces painted on them in the home gardens. I don't know. I couldn't tell you that one. I haven't seen that. Um, I don't know. Does anybody else that's watching knows? Let us know because I've not seen that. I was drinking in the Australian bar, and the owner said there was about 1,800 living in Chiang Mai. Oh, there's probably more than that. You can definitely live here. Yeah, it's no doubt you can live here very cheaply. A lot cheaper than you can in your home country. But again, you how cheap do you want to live? And I watched John Canton put a video up, and I just saw it today, talking about living for 500 baht or $500 a year. You can't, or a month. You can, but you don't want to. I mean, it's just something that you don't want to live that cheap. You want to live comfortably. My thing, I always tell people that I think 1,500 a month is about the cheapest you can get by and live comfortably and safely. Sometimes Spencer would have to beg me to buy new clothes. Oh,
Yeah.
a
There you go.
TCU hat. Nice. I'm from North Fort Worth and living in Chiang Mai for about the past year. Another Texan there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm from the HEB area, so that's like it was part of Tarrant County, which is Fort Worth, so close by.
Yeah. Something I saw in Texas that I was going to mention to you, and I forgot what it was, but it'll come to me, and I'll get you later.
Mm.
But there's something going on down there that I need to ask Spencer about that. Hey, nice to meet you too. I appreciate you stopping in the channel.
Yeah.
Wait, I recognize that picture. Have you changed the name of your channel? I thought it was something else because I recognize that face. Let me see if I can get on his channel. I can't. Nope, can't get on it. But he had a. Trying to look at the face. I'll have to look, but anyway, appreciate you stopping in. But who knows? But anyway, uh, I think having a Thai spouse definitely has its advantages. Uh, and I think that the better your wife is, the better you're going to live. Okay, yeah, I remember you had a different channel. I like this. Yeah, okay. Because I recognize the face. I had not seen your channel in a while. This is my main account. Sorry, no problem. But maybe you were thinking about all the Californians leaving. It may have been. I read something about that. There was something that I read, and I got to mention that to Spencer.
Yeah. Yeah. Texas and Florida seem to be getting all the Californias lately.
Yeah. Says, do you ask your Thai wife to help negotiate for you? I
Heck
don't have to
yeah.
ask her. She's going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, it's her money too, and uh, and it was funny when we went looking for a place to rent back 12 years ago. She wouldn't let me go with her. She goes, "Let me go
Right.
by myself, and then if I'll look at some places and I'll get 3 or 4 places, and then I'll take you with me after I've
Mm.
negotiated a price
Mm.
and uh, and done that, and that's what she did. It took her quite a while to find a decent place for us to live here. I think she went out about 3 or 4 different times and came back and said, "Oh, this is," and my original plans, I wanted to live inside the moat because I kept telling her, I
Ooh.
said, find a place inside the moat. And she goes, "You sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." But
Mm,
now, after I've been here 12 years, there is no way in
mm.
hell I'd want to live up in there. Nice to go visit. Nice to drive up there, and you know, other than that, nah, I wouldn't want to live there. And
No.
having it
Mm-mm.
rang increases the negotiated price. Yeah, it. I don't see it that often. I had it happen to me once in the market where I went to buy tomatoes, and I had been with Leck one time, and she paid one price for tomatoes, and I went back about 3 or 4 weeks later and bought some tomatoes, and the lady charged me a little bit more. But
Mm.
even Leck sometimes will, she'll get ripped off too. It's just the way it is. You have to kind of pay attention now. Maybe the tomatoes went up in price by the time I went back to get them, but I felt like I had been stung. And there was another time I felt like I had been got. I can't remember what it was. Nice. Now, great. That's a great partner. You know how to take care of it. Yeah. Can you recommend a good bookstore that sells books about identifying Thai trees and plants? Gosh, I'd probably say some place, Airport Plaza, has several bookstores.
They have Asia Books, which is dedicated to like foreigners, so all the books are in English or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you've got those used bookstores downtown in the old
Hmm.
city, like
Yeah.
Gecko
Yeah.
Books or
Yeah.
whatever,
Mhm.
where you could probably pick one up on the cheap down
Yeah.
there.
There's another one too that I was just thinking about. It's called DK Books,
Mm,
and it's right south of Loicro on the left
mm.
hand side. It's in the very very back. And DK Books has all kinds of books on just about anything. Uh,
Yeah.
you go in there and just ask them, if they've got any books on trees or something like that. And I'm sure they've got something. They
And you
have a
can look on
lot of,
Facebook too. They might even probably have a group for that.
yeah,
They've
that
got one
would
for
be,
snakes.
yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, we get our stakes identified online, and but yeah, they might have something there. I'm trying to think of what else. Another thing to do too, if you're looking for, is look on Lazada. Believe it or not, Lazada has a lot of books uh,
Mm.
that you can buy. Um, some people say use Amazon, but do you buy anything, Spencer? Do you buy anything from Amazon? Amazon
I buy a
anymore?
lot of stuff on Amazon.
Do you? And do you
Mhm.
get charged uh, duty when it comes in, or
Amazon automatically uh, figures out the price for that.
yeah,
So, like if you buy something for $200, and they'll charge like the import fees of $50. But
yeah?
if it actually ends up being less, they'll refund you that whatever left over back into your Amazon account or
Oh,
credit card.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, I bought this microphone from Amazon. So,
oh, oh.
yeah.
Interesting. I've been using Lazada. I bought everything on Lazada.
Hmm.
If you have an iPhone and you take a picture of a plant here, you scroll down to more info, you see the location. Oh, that's
Hmm.
interesting. I never knew that. Uh, there and on the Android phone, they have this. Try to find it. Google. Google has something. See if I can find it here. That you just take a picture of it and it tells you exactly what it is. I don't use it that often. But Lens. I think it's called Lens. Yeah, yeah, Lens. There's an app called Lens. If you'll download that'll do the same thing if you have an Android, and you just point it at it and boom, it'll tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah, I had one of those for identifying dogs, and it identified my wife as a husky.
Oh yeah, you're
Uh,
great. Get way on there.
uh,
Oh, that's funny. Well, we've hit the hour mark. Has anybody got any more questions? Put them in the comments there. We'll stay on here for a little while. We'll answer any kind of questions that you want that we can. and appreciate everybody that's come in. Yeah, Lynn's yeah, that's true. My wife must be a pit bull. Yeah, your wife would shoot you. Oh man,
Hey, quick plug, Bill. You know, I'm going to be doing that expat interview with you this week.
yeah,
So
okay,
some people might want to tune in for that. And those are going to be all questions I'm going to ask Bill that he is not going to get in advance. So some
okay.
of them might be kind of shocking for him. Might be fun to watch that.
Yeah, let me put a link up to your channel too while we're here.
All right.
I got to get over to that thing here.
Yeah. So that should
There
be
we go.
fun.
Yeah,
Then each
we'll
week
do.
I'll do somebody different that's an expat here. So you'll get to meet a lot of different people that are here as expats. And it
There
won't be
we
just
go.
Americans. It'll be Australians, British, Kiwis, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Spencer's channel right there at RetVet. So subscribe to his channel, and we'll do that. We'll do that sometime this week, and
Yeah.
what's going on? You guys are great. For the next time. See you later, buddy. Take care. And but anyway, well, we're going to sign off. Appreciate everybody that's come in,
Yeah.
and next week, let me see. It'll be Saturday again next week, and then um, let me just make sure. Yes, Saturday next week. Same time, same place, same channel. Appreciate y'all coming in, Spencer. I'll see you next week, buddy. I'll
Okay.
see you
All
before
right.
then.
All
Bye
right.
bye.